Welcome back to my at-home art studio. Today we are going to be learning about tessellations for our art project. So we're kind of combining a little bit of math into our art this time. So tessellations, if you have not already looked at the PowerPoint that I posted, you definitely are going to want to go ahead and do that. But tessellations are shapes that repeat and they fit together perfectly, sort of like a puzzle piece. Except for imagine the puzzle piece is the exact same shape repeating again and again. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys step by step how you're going to be making your tessellations for this project. Alright boys and girls, so the first thing that we need to do is make our square that is going to be used as the tracer. So I just have this little piece of scrap paper. You're going to want to use a paper that is a little bit thicker than regular paper because it is going to be used as your tracer. So if you don't know how to get a perfect square out of paper, one way is to take two corner edges, fold it over, and then what I do is I just cut away the excess. And then I am left with a perfect square. So you can go ahead and do that. You could measure the two sides, or maybe you already have little square pieces of paper. Once we have our square piece of paper, you're gonna go ahead and on two sides of the square, you're gonna draw two different shapes. So maybe on one side I take a shape that's kind of like this, and over here, maybe it's like that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out these two shapes. All right, my two shapes are cut out. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take the shape and I'm going to move it over to the other side, making sure it's exactly lined up. Mine are kind of easy because if this one starts at the corner, I know it's going to end on the corner over here. Same thing right here. It kind of starts on the corner, so if your shape does not start on a corner, you could try, can't pick this up. You can try taking your shape and just sliding it across so that it's lined up perfectly. That part is important in the end, that they are on the same exact spot on the opposite side. The next thing you're gonna need is some tape, and we're gonna take small pieces of tape and just tape your shape, your cutout shape, onto the opposite side like this. I'm gonna take this one, tape it like that, and now we have what is going to be our tracer shape. The next thing we need to do is test out our tracer and make sure it's going to work for the final. You're going to need a piece of scrap paper to test out your tracer shape on. What you're going to do is trace around your tracer one time. Okay, once I've traced it one time, I'm going to test and make sure it's going to work. Remember, it's supposed to be like a puzzle piece. So if this was my tracer, I should be able to slide it over here and it fits together perfectly like a puzzle piece. If that didn't line up, then it would mean that my piece on the other side is not in the correct spot. You want to check all four sides to make sure it fits, which we're looking good. That way, when we repeat the tracer again and again, it fits together just like a puzzle. The next part of the project is the tricky part. I am left with this shape and I need to try to figure out what I can make this shape into. It doesn't matter which way I use the tracer, I can flip it around any which way, but I need to try to think of an image for the shape. Go ahead and take a look at mine and see if you see anything right off the bat. All right, so the best thing that I could find was to make my tracer into a dog wearing a bandana. I did not go outside my shape at all. You can't go outside of it because the next shape is gonna be right next to it. So you have to think within that shape what you can make. So we got my dog and a polka dot bandana. All right, guys, once you're finished coming up with your shape idea, you're going to either start on a new piece of paper. I just continued on this one, and I repeated my dog shape again and again until the entire page was filled up. I even added the shapes on the edges of the page because we want it to look like it goes right off of the page. So really I only have maybe 6 full dog shapes, but there's also going to be some on the edges of the paper. Now I need to go ahead and fill in all of the shapes with my dog faces. All right, I filled in all of my dogs, and I also thought it would be fun to change the pattern on each of the bandanas. You guys can change small things about the design. When I color it, I'm also going to make my dogs different colors, otherwise it'll end up looking like one big blob. So let's go ahead and color it. And there you have it. That's how you make a tessellation. I am so excited to see yours. Have fun, be creative, and I hope you guys are all staying home and safe.